guess no one ever warned you. Somebody should have told you that shit is not on my watch. Hell no. That shit is not on my watch. I bet you thought you had me pegged, huh? You thought that I was at my edge, nah. Yeah, well, just give me a second. Yeah, and I'll be showing you a me you ain't ever seen. It's like I'm walking on a tightrope. Oh, but I don't even mind, no. Yeah, it's just the way I thrive, so I know nothing's ever gonna be the end of me. Just when you thought I was down for the count, when you ready to count me out, I come back a little stronger, cashing on my karma. Ooh, 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 ooh. Just when you thought I would call it a night, hanging it up and out to dry. I guess no one ever warned you. Somebody should have told you that shit is not on my watch. Hell no. Shit is not on my watch. Give it to me now, Dick. You thought I was down for the count, you ready to count me out. I come back a little stronger, cashing on my karma. Ooh, 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 ooh. When you thought I would call it a night, hanging it up and out to dry. I guess no one ever warned you. Somebody should have told you that shit is not on my watch. That shit is not on my watch. It's like I'm walking on a tightrope. Yeah, it's just the way I thrive. So I know nothing's ever gonna be the end of me. Gonna be the end of me, yeah. That shit is not on mine. All my friends been asking where Amanda's been. Said she seemed like such a perfect 10. They asked me when I was gonna take her home to Cleveland. Said she was just your type, dark hair and with the green brown eyes. Real smart and she cleaned up nice. They asked me why. People like to talk about what they're gonna leave behind, and how they're gonna change the world, what's gonna define their lives. Guess I set my sights on a different kind of legacy. Yeah, I know I got it right if all they say about me is he had a dog, he drank a beer dirt. He drew the same truck 15 years. He built a house up on some dirt. He wore his first name on his shirt. He said a prayer, got up at dawn, showed up to cheer the home team on. He earned his keep, kept his word. He lived his life and he loved her. Don't you go and spend a dime, one of those high-priced stones. If you want to celebrate my life, let me tell you what really means the most. Circle up on a Friday night with all the ones that know me well. Raise a glass and tip it back and say he lived his life like anyone else. He had a dog, he drank a beer. He drove the same truck 15 years. He built a house up on some dirt. He wore his first name on his shirt. He said a prayer, got up at dawn, showed up to cheer the home team on. He earned his keep, kept his word. He lived his life and he loved her. Yes, he did. All right, make it dance for me, Sammy. Come on now. He went to work and paid the bills. On Saturdays he mowed the lawn. And just a small town simple man lived his life like a country song. He drank a beer, he drove the same truck 15 years. He built a house up on some dirt. He wore his first name on his shirt. He said a prayer, got up at dawn, showed up to cheer the home team on. He earned his keep, kept his word. He lived his life and he loved her. He loves her. He set his sights on a different kind of legacy. Yes, he did. Everybody needs to be believed in at least once in their lives. Everybody needs to come to Jesus moment in time. I could think of a couple reasons why this should be mine. 'Cause I got a song, I got something to say, I got a will to survive, got a dollar in my name, I got a heart, got a little bit of luck. I got this go and get it feeling in my gut. And I got a truck, I got a truck. Said the young man to the banker as he pleaded his case. It's the only thing that I can trade you, but it's worth more than its weight. Yeah, man, I swear I'm gonna pay you back one day. Yeah, you can take that to the bank. 'Cause I got a song, I got a story to tell, I got a reason for living, gonna give them all hell. I got a girl, we got a whole lot of love, I got this go and get it feeling in my gut. Yeah, and I got a truck, ooh, I got a truck, ooh. Nothing but a four-wheel hand-me-down rust bucket, doesn't really look like much now.
What's going on, y'all? How you guys doing? Happy Friday. Happy Pink Slip EP release day. Hopefully you guys have been wearing it out today and just keeping it on repeat and enjoying it and diving in and hearing new things each time. You guys obviously got 3 brand new songs today that you hadn't heard much of unless you listened to my teasers this week, but we did Not On My Watch, Who's Gonna Hold Ya, and Whatever Forever Is. And man, I'm just so excited to finally be here for this day and to finally have new music out. It's been almost close to 3 years, maybe coming on 3 years since I put out Dark Horse, which is the first full length I put out for those of you that have been following along with me for a while. But man, there's nothing like the feeling of just putting new music out, and it's just like this cathartic, okay, it's out in the world, you can do with it what you want, you can listen to it as many times as you want, and find your own definitions and make your own memories to it, you know. And so up until today, it was mine, and now it's yours. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. My name is Devin, which most of you probably should know, but I don't want to assume anything, so I'm going to introduce myself. Welcome to the Pink Slip EP Live, is what we're calling this live stream. We're here at Ocean Way Studios in Nashville on Music Row, which is one of the most iconic, beautiful stained glass windows. You kind of can't see it much, but it's a good place to celebrate tonight. I got a beer, I got a little bit of water. Leah's back there drinking a half bottle of wine that I brought her, so you guys feel free to pour something up and enjoy the show. I want to start the night off with just a little bit of a behind the scenes video. So tonight is going to be a little bit of a mixture of a couple of my favorite things. I obviously have my acoustic here, so I'm going to sing some acoustic songs, versions for you guys. I'm going to be doing like a live question and answer thing. We're going to have some questions popping up on the screen here, so feel free to submit some stuff. But we're also going to be doing showing you guys full band versions of all 6 songs on the EP. And obviously you could probably tell my band's not behind me. So we actually had just recorded these versions a couple months ago, and we're calling them the PRG sessions because that's the place we recorded them. But what you guys see when you see these live full band versions is going to be the first time that we literally played these songs live, all together as a band, like no craziness, just hit record and go, you know. No fans, which was super crazy to experience that, but I think we did it in maybe July or August. I can't quite remember exactly when it was, but you know, it came after a year of not playing a show, like for a year, and not being out with people, and so it was really cool to get back with my band and like feel that camaraderie and work through these songs that we had, you know, come to life in the studio. And so that's what you're going to see tonight when you see the live full band versions. But I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes kind of footage of what that day was like, getting back with the band and recording these songs full band. So roll the tape. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Everybody needs to be believed in at least once in their lives. Everybody needs to come to Jesus a moment in time. I could think of a couple reasons why this should be mine. 'Cause I got a song, I got something to say, I got a will to survive, got $1 to my name, I got a heart, got a little bit of luck, I got this go and get it feeling in my gut, and I gotta trust. 1, 2, 3, Pink Slip. I gotta trust. Right. Yeah, so that was just a little bit of like the kind of energy that we had going into that day, and honestly, it was kind of weird for me because I hadn't really sung that much in months and months and months, so I kind of had to make sure I was up to practice, and it was just cool feeling that feeling of being with my guys again and being with my band. And for those of you that have been with me since the beginning, you know my band plays on all my records with me, and so when we interpret these songs live, it's really, you know, it's the same people that brought them to life in the first place, and it's us kind of taking them to the next level and figuring out how to do these parts, and it's just one of my favorite things in the world, and God, I miss it so much. I know you guys do too. I wish we were in person right now. This is obviously the best we can do right now, and I'm pretty happy with this anyway. So we're going to jump into a live version of one of these songs. I think we're going to just go in the order of the EP for those of you that have been listening. So I'm going to talk about Range Rover. Range Rover is, I wanted to start the EP out on like a note that kind of prepared you for what was to come, or kind of, you know, a little unexpected off the top, something that you hadn't heard from me yet. And so I wrote Range Rover with a guy named Ben Rector, who is an incredible artist and songwriter, and I'm such a fan of his, and it's been a real pleasure getting to know him over the last couple years. And a guy named Mark Trussell, who I've written a lot with, and he wrote a couple songs with me on Dark Horse as well. And so it was, you know, it was a pretty comfy room to be in, and it was a safe room that we could just explore something crazy that day. It's like, to write a song like Range Rover, you have to be okay with going anywhere and knowing that it might be horrible, but just at least throwing it out anyways. And so the day started with us just catching up, and Mark, he's crushing it right now. I think he's got a song close to the top 5 right now. But at that point, I think it might have been top 20 or something, and we were just excited for him and celebrating him and having some more money coming in, you know. And he's got a family. He's got 2 kids and a wife, and his wife's named Grace. And we were laughing because Mark's like, yeah, I think I'm going to get Grace a new car. And we're like, oh, what are you going to get her? And he's like, I think she wants a Range Rover. And, you know, I know Grace decently well. We haven't hung out that much, obviously. You know, I usually go there to write with Mark, but I didn't peg her as like the typical, stereotypical driver of a Range Rover. And I know not everyone is that way that drives a Range Rover, but you know what I'm talking about, like the trophy wife, kind of gold digger kind of thing, just to kind of put the nose on the head, but the nail on the head. But it was just, we were just kind of talking about how that stereotype is kind of hilarious, and like, is there a way we can write a song about that like fits into what I do? And we kind of like got off of it and started talking about some other songs, and then after that we were just like, no, we're writing Range Rover today. Like, let's just take a challenge and see what happens. And for me, like, I pictured it as kind of like the country version of Kanye's Gold Digger, where you're not necessarily putting her down, you're just spitting the facts. And so, you know, it's about this guy just realizing the girl he was with is not really the girl he wanted to end up with, and their long-term goals were not aligned. And this is what we came out with. And so here's the first live version of it right here. I hope you like it.
All my friends been asking where Amanda's been. Said she seemed like such a perfect 10. They asked me when I was gonna take her home to Cleveland. Said she was just your type, dark hair and with the green-brown eyes. Real smart and she cleaned up nice. They asked me why. I said, if you really need a reason, well, I'm looking for a girl that's fine. If I drive a pickup and she does not mind, riding in it with the windows down, cranking Keith really loud. Next to me, I'm looking for a girl who sees past blown speakers in a broke AC, in a bench seat with a 250,000 miles on the motor. And she was looking for that Range Rover. She just wants that Range Rover. Yeah. Well, I should have known when she was searching for designer homes, custom kitchen with the Viking stove, 7 pictures on a big iPhone. You know the one. When she hated beer, she didn't catch a college game all year. She was way too into my career. She tried to pick the single and it all came clear that I was looking for a girl that's fine. If I drive a pickup and she does not mind, riding in it with the windows down, cranking Keith Whitley loud. Next to me, I'm looking for a girl who sees past blown speakers and a broke AC and a bench seat with a 250,000 miles on the motor. And she was looking for that Range Rover. She just wants that Range Rover. Yeah. She was looking for that Range Rover. I was in a pickup and I tried to take her road trip, but she just wasn't with it. This music wasn't pain. She left me in a minute. Oh, I'm looking for a girl that's fine. If I drive a pickup and she does not mind, riding in it with the windows down, cranking Lee Greenwood loud. Next to me, I'm looking for a girl who sees past blown speakers and a broke AC and a bench seat with a 250,000 miles on the motor. And she was looking for that Range Rover. She just wants that Range Rover. She wants that Range Rover.
Nice. Yeah, I love that song. It's heavy and it's cheeky and it's groovy and it's definitely something that I haven't done before, and so I hope you guys are okay with just me continuing to evolve and try new things and keeping you guys on your toes. First of all, obviously during a live stream, we're going to have some little technical difficulties. If I'm too low or I'm too loud and our volume, we're figuring it out. So just bear with us. We're going to keep it pretty low key and just have a good time. So I think what we're going to do next is go to a couple questions. We blasted this out this week to the Dark Horse family, which is, I guess it's like my fan club, even though I don't like, for some reason, saying fan club. I like saying family a little bit more because it means more. So we're going to go to a couple questions from the Dark Horse family this week. First question from Maggie James. What's up, Maggie? It's good to see you, or hear from you, I guess. Her question is, what was the recording process like when writing songs for the Pink Slip EP? Hashtag Dark Horse fam, hashtag Pink Slip EP. I like the hashtags. Thanks, Maggie. Well, the recording process when writing the songs is completely different than being in the studio and like cutting the final versions, but I'll touch a little bit on it. When I write the songs, we tend to do like a demo the day of to, one, just put it into stone so we don't forget it, and just kind of start talking about what it might sound like in its final form, I guess. And a lot of times it's really, really close to what it sounds like. And honestly, the Range Rover demo was pretty damn close to what what the final version I did with Jay, my producer, was like. And I just think that Mark really captured the essence of that song really well that day that we wrote it. And I actually had Mark come in and play guitar in the studio with Jay and my band, just because for whatever reason, that song for him, he just really brought it to life. And so I'm grateful, Mark, if you're watching, that you came in and did that with us. As far as other songs, I Got a Truck, I wrote on the bus, and so we did a bus demo. It's just interesting when you take a song from a demo to a master, and I think that's really what the job and value of a producer is that they have the ability to kind of be unbiased from everything that happened before, and a lot of times they didn't write it, sometimes they do, but and I work with a guy named Jay Joyce who is just a legendary producer in Nashville, and his process is to work with a live band. And so I bring my guys from the road in and we kind of just work it out. We usually spend about a day, maybe two, but mostly one day on a song, and get there in the morning and start jamming it out, and Jay will start changing some arrangements and we'll work on some tone, and by the end of the day we'll sneak a vocal in somewhere, and after that Jay kind of takes it off into his lair, I guess. He's kind of like a little bit of a mad scientist, and then he works it up and he sends it back to me. So it's just a really cool opportunity, like I said, to get to work with my live band and all these my best friends I've known since the first day I moved to Nashville, to get to the point of what you guys hear. So good question, Maggie. We got one more question before we get to the next song, and it's from Andrew Niemiec. Sorry if I pronounced that. I'm going to say Andrew N, because I can't mess that one up. It's another Dark Horse family question. It's, what's my favorite song off the EP? Man, I've been asked that a couple times. I think they all mean different things, and I can tell you why each one would be my favorite, but I think just because I Got a Truck is such a true story, you know, that I heard from Tim McGraw, and like so much of my story is in that song as well. I think it just hits home. It's a song I wrote by myself, which isn't something I do very often, but when I do it, it tends to be really honest. If it's good enough to finish, if I think it's good enough to do by myself, you know. And so I think I'm gonna go with I Got a Truck, but you know, I could probably say the other ones too, but I'm just gonna stick with that. So good question. What do we got next? We got one more, another live performance video for you, which is a great segue because it is I Got a Truck. So you guys enjoy this one.
Everybody needs to be believed in at least once in their lives. Everybody needs to come to Jesus moment in time. I could think of a couple reasons why this should be mine. 'Cause I got a song, I got something to say, I got a will to survive, got $1 to my name, I got a heart, got a little bit of luck, I got this go and get it feeling in my gut, and I got a truck, I got a truck. Said the young man to the banker as he pleaded his case, it's the only thing that I can trade you, but it's worth more than its weight. Yeah, man, I swear I'm gonna pay you back one day. Yeah, you can take that to the bank, 'cause I got a song, I got a story to tell, I got a reason for living, gonna give them all hell. I got a girl, we got a whole lot of love, I got this go and get it feeling in my good, yeah, and I got a truck, ooh, I got a truck, ooh. Nothing but a four-wheel hand-me-down rust bucket, doesn't really look like much now. Yeah, but when your times get tough and you're down in a rut, she's gonna get you unstuck. Yeah, I got a truck, I got a truck, I got a dream and a hope and a prayer, and I got an arrow that's pointing me there. I got the drive and the grit and the spirit, and I got a pink slip. Yeah, I got a truck. Ooh. Yeah, I got a truck. I'm glad we got to like rock out that outro a little bit just to kind of showcase my band and how good they are, and that song and the story of it will always mean a lot to me. It's a song that, you know, just because I didn't get to talk about it a little bit before, I'll tell you a little bit now, but it's a song that was inspired by a conversation I had with Tim McGraw. We were on tour, and you know, he took me out on the road a couple summers ago, and he was just telling me how he got his start in Nashville, and I'll
I'll try to keep it short, but he, you know, like a lot of us, you know, it took a while to kind of break through that initial like wall of the town and like get someone to believe in him. And he was really having a tough time. And there was a guy named Brian Williams in town, and this is all a story that, you know, Tim's telling me. And Tim came to Brian and was like, hey man, like, you know, Brian was a banker, and Brian was known for like taking a shot on other people or on artists that maybe other people weren't quite ready to take a shot on. And so I think Tim knew that and kind of pleaded his case and was like, man, I got these songs and I got this work ethic and I got this touring and following and I got this shitty old truck I could trade you, you know, but it's not worth much, but if you believe in me, I promise I'll pay you back, you know. And he's telling me this story and I'm like, man, it sounds like a song to me, like, have you written that? And he kind of was like, no. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it and how much I related to that in my way of, you know, driving my truck from California to Nashville and coming here and trying to get someone to believe in me. And it's just, you know, it's cool to know that other people go through the same things that you do or the same struggles, you know. And ended up writing that song on the bus, you know, later that night and giving it to him as an end of tour gift, kind of just like a little recording we did with the band on the bus and just saying thanks for inspiring me. So yeah, that one will always hold a special place in my heart. I hope you guys dig it too. I meant to do that before, but I did it after. This is my show. I could do what I want. I can do my order, you know. But I would love to play one acoustic for you guys now, if that's cool with you. Just get my key here. Everything sound good in there, yeah? Man, let's take it all the way back to the off the top. And this is the first song I ever put out, you know, the first single I ever had, and it was the first hit I ever had. It became a hit, and it's a song that changed my life. Back when I wrote it, I definitely was not in love, but I am now, and it definitely takes on a new meaning, especially during a year like this when we all need to lean on each other a little more. So, hope you like it. This one's called All On Me. 2. It's my show, you know. I'm not gonna say that again. Yeah, I know that the woes and the weight of the world could get inside our minds and be too much sometimes. Yeah, I know. Baby, don't let the no's and the ups and the downs from the roller coaster ride beat you up inside. Baby, don't. If you ever feel that way, don't you ever hesitate. 'Cause you got my number, you can call on me. If you in trouble, fall on me. When you're mad, you can take it out on me. Yeah, when it don't add up, you can count on me. When you look hungry, high on me. Make it slow, take your time on me. Settle in, let it out, come and lay on me. When it gets heavy, you wait on me. Baby, put it all on me. Put it all on me. Alright. I wanna take you out on the town on my dime. Anytime, tell me when you're free. We can do anything and everything you want. I wanna hear all your fears, any troubles, strip it down, really get to know one another. When it's nobody but you and me, just us. Girl, you know I'm here for you. You can lean on me anytime you need to. You got my number, you can call on me. If you in trouble, fall on me. When you're mad, you can take it out on me. Yeah, when it don't add up, you can count on me. When you look, don't get high on me. Make it slow, get time on me. Settle in, let it out, come and lay on me. When it gets heavy, wait on me. Baby, put it all on me. Oh girl, put it all on me, baby.
need a shoulder, you can cry on me. Baby, you can bet your life on me. Put it all on me. You got my number, you can call on me. If you in trouble, put the fall on me. When you're mad, you can take it out on me. Yeah, you don't have to count on me. Yeah, yeah. When you look gunky high on me. Oh, make it slow, take your time on me. Settle in and let it out, come and lay on me. When it gets heavy, put the weight on me. Baby, put it all on me. Yeah, baby, put it all on me. Put it all on me. On me. Girl, put it on me. All on me. All on me. All on me. Hey, put it all on me.
Hell yeah. Thank you, if you're clapping. I just assume you are. What do we got next? Let's see here. We're going to keep the music rolling because that's what we're here for. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Got to dust off the bottle a little bit. It's been a second since I played that one. The next song we have here coming up for you guys is called Not On My Watch, which, God, I feel like I'll say this for every single one, but one of my favorites. I wrote it with my brother. It just kind of has this meaning of like, I like to describe it as like a diss track to the devil on my shoulder, or that person in your head, that voice in your head that tells you you're not enough or you're not going to make it. And it just kind of has this angst and anger to it that's just like, yo, just when you thought I was down for the count, that's when I'm going to come back stronger. I wrote this with my brother and a guy named Nick Furlong. And it's definitely the most unique sounding sonic song, you know, on the album. But I definitely wanted to do something a little different and keep you guys on your toes. So hope you guys like it.
You can't get rid of that. Yeah, I bite off a little more than I can chew. Lucky for me, I like the taste of black and blue. I might be on the ground tonight, a little lost without a light. But don't underestimate the fight in me. Just when you thought I was down for the count, you ready to count me out, I come back a little stronger, cashing on my karma. Ooh. Thought I would call it a night, hanging it up and out to dry. I guess no one ever warned you. Somebody should have told you that shit is not on my watch. Hell no. That shit is not on my watch. I bet you thought you had me pegged, huh? You thought that I was at my edge, nah. Yeah, well, just give me a second. Yeah, and I'll be showing you a me you ain't ever seen. It's like I'm walking on a tightrope. Oh, but I don't even mind, no. Yeah, it's just the way I thrive, so I know nothing's ever gonna be the end of me. Just when you thought I was down for the count, when you ready to count me out, I come back a little stronger, cashing on my karma. Ooh, 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 ooh. Just when you thought I would call it a night, hanging it up and out to dry. I guess no one ever warned you. Somebody should have told you that shit is not on my watch. Hell no. Shit is not on my watch. Give it to me now, Nick. Thought I was down for you're cashing on my karma. Ooh, 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 ooh. When you thought I would call it a night, hanging it up and out to dry. I guess no one ever warned you. Somebody should have told you that shit is not on my watch. That shit is not on my watch. It's like I'm walking on a tightrope. Yeah, it's just the way I thrive. So I know nothing's ever gonna be the end of me. Gonna be the end of me, yeah. That shit is not on mine.
Nice, nice, nice. That one is intense. I love that one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to keep it moving, man. I'm trying to get my transitions right. We're going back to a couple more questions from the Dark Horse fam. We're going to take one from YouTube and one from Facebook as well, so make sure to submit something if you want to know it. First one is from the Dark Horse family. It's Kylie Bridge. What up, Kylie? Question is, who is my favorite songwriter to work with, and who would I love to write a song with in the future if I could choose anyone? Man, this is going to sound real selfish, but I just love writing songs by myself. But I will answer that in a second. But there's a songwriter named Barry Dean in town, and he's one of my favorites. He's just a great guy. And when I was still in college, I went to one of his like seminars of him speaking, and he's, you know, this was like on his first publishing deal, and he was about to kind of lose his deal. He hadn't gotten any cuts yet, and he was still working on trying to figure out what was next. And his publisher was like, you know, if it was your last week, like, who do you want to write with? You know what I mean? And he was like, I'll write one with Luke Laird, you know, because that was his buddy. I'll write one with this person, maybe get one with a hit person, and then the last write, if it comes down to like having to like make or break it, like, give me the ball. And he was like, I'm gonna write by myself. And I just like always remembered that, because I started out writing by myself. And I don't get to do that a lot now because I do love co-writing so much and like what kind of songs I get out of that. But one good positive thing about quarantine this year is that I have had a lot more time to write songs by myself. Whether they end up being like balanced or commercial enough or whatever to make it onto my record, you know, we'll find out. Some of them are pretty out there, which I love, and I'll release those one day. But a couple of my favorites: Mark Trussell, Laura Veltz, Jordan Reynolds, my brother Jacob Durrett, Hardy, Mitchell Tenpenny, Kyle Fishman. There's so many, you guys. It's really hard to talk about one, but if I had to name one, I'd just give myself the ball, you know. So I hope that answers that question. Next question from YouTube, Colin K. What up, dude? He said, how do I usually start my writing process, words or melody first? 100% words. I am a lyric guy, you know, to a fault sometimes, because I need to think more about melody sometimes. My wife is a pop writer, and she's really good at lyrics too, but she's definitely, I feel like you think in more melodies, right? Both, yeah. And so, I don't know, I like to start with the concept more so. I do start from titles a lot, because if you know what you're trying to say and you know where you're going, sometimes it's easy to get there, but then you get that kind of song. Sometimes it's fun to just start a song and not know where you're going and let the song kind of take you where it wants, you know. But I do like to start with a concept and just kind of think of clever things or relatable things or just images in my head, and I start kind of playing some music that might sound, you know, I kind of just start strumming on the guitar a little bit and just find things that feel like that song. If it's like, you know, a song like, say, you know, something about not taking yourself too serious, like maybe the music should be a little fun and quirky and not ballady, you know, and like if it's a heartbreak song, maybe it should be ballady and maybe not. Maybe it should be upbeat and fun and contrast, you know. So it's just about what feels right and just trusting your gut, you know. But I do start with words first most of the time. One more question from Facebook. Eric S. says, do I ever miss Orangevale, California? I definitely do. Orangevale, California is where I grew up. Shout out to the OV. Went to Casa Roble High School. Go Rams. Orangevale's a little town, and it's kind of like, I consider it a small town. Like, it's definitely grown a lot, and it's definitely not the smallest town in the country, but it's about 40 minutes outside of the heart of Sacramento. And I grew up in the little kind of area back by like Cherry and Peerless, for those of you who are from Orangeville, and it's just horse country out there. And you know what I'm talking about. And I don't know, I you know, as a kid, I remember having 4 or 5 acres to just roam around and build a tree house in the walnut tree, and you know, have a pig roast and dig a hole in the ground and go whatever, you know, like the house that built me, when she talks about my favorite dog is buried up in that oak tree. Like I literally have an animal that we, you know, buried under the oak tree, not to get morbid with it, but I do miss home, you know what I mean? But I couldn't be here, I couldn't be sitting here if I was still in Orangeville, you know what I mean? I think you gotta at some point figure out what you wanna do, and you know, you got to be present to win. If you want to be a songwriter and you want to sing and you want to be a country musician and you want to pursue a career, because I love country music, then I need to be in Nashville, you know. And I wouldn't be talking to you guys here if I wasn't here, obviously. That was the dumbest thing I've probably ever said. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. But you know what I'm saying, you know. I do miss my hometown and my family, and I come back as much as I can. But Nashville is definitely my home, so. I digressed and I talked way too much, but thank you for your question, dude. What do we got next? Another video coming up, yeah? Okay, so next is Whatever Forever Is for the live band videos, and this seems to be like, from like all the kind of feedback I've gotten today online and just seeing how much you guys are streaming and stuff, this seems to be like one of y'all's favorites from the EP, at least of the last 3 that we just put out. It's kind of like tricking myself and tricking to you guys into like a wedding song without it being like a 6/8 ballad first dance kind of thing. And I wrote this song with Laura Veltz and Jordan Reynolds. And Laura and I had written like maybe 3 weeks prior to this writing session, and she had thrown out this idea about, she's like, I don't know what it is, or I don't know what the title is, or how we do this, but we're just talking through concepts, and she was like, I think it's interesting that we all promise forever and we use the word forever, you know, and we just kind of throw it around like it doesn't mean anything, when it's like this huge, huge concept that nobody really knows what it means, you know. And I think she knows that I really like to try to tackle big concepts and like kind of boil them down into like a relatable song. And that day we ended up writing something else, because I remember thinking that I like thought it was special, and I was like, there's something there, but it might take me a second to kind of like wrap my head around it and like manifest like how we should write it, I guess. And so we kind of didn't write it that day, and then we got together 3 weeks later, and I was like, please tell me you didn't write that forever thing. And she was like, no, I haven't. And I was like, I think I know how to do it, let's do it today. And I think the thing that just kind of changed everything for me is the fact that I was like, you know, you don't know what it is until you find it, until you see it, you know. It's kind of this cynic's love song in the beginning where it's this guy, like, people throw around forever, nobody knows what it means. He's kind of like being negative about it, and all of a sudden this cynic, you know, the cynical guy finds the girl that he wants to spend forever with, and it all starts making sense to him. And I'll never forget the end of the chorus when Laura kind of stumbled on the title, Whatever Forever Is. Like I said, we didn't have that title, and we were just saying, you know, keep loving on me just like this, and she said, for whatever forever is. And it just was one of those songs that all locked into place. It's fun to sing, and it's got a dope groove to it, so enjoy it.
People throw around forever, but no one really knows what it means. They say they're gonna stay together until the mountains crumble into the sea. Well, to tell the truth, I didn't know why. Some people do, 'cause baby, I couldn't understand forever. I guess I never had the chance till I held it in my hands. But one look at you and girl, I got it down. Can't help it that it's falling out my mouth. Guess I had to wrap my arms around it, to wrap my head around my heart around it, yeah. One kiss and then that was it for me. Now I just wanna spend eternity with you loving on me just like this. For whatever forever is. I could take a second and try to put forever into words, yeah, what if what we got is heaven? And I get to hold an angel here on earth. Then when kingdom comes and we close our eyes, and it's all the same on the other side, I think I'm gonna lie forever. If this is how it's gonna be tonight until infinity. One look at you and girl, I got it down. Can't help but that it's falling out of my mouth. Guess I had to wrap my arms around it, to wrap my head, wrap my heart around it, yeah. One kiss and baby, that was it for me. Now I just wanna spend eternity with you loving on me just like this, for whatever forever is. People around. Yeah, but no one really knows what it means. Hey, one look at you and girl, I got it down. Can't help but that it's falling out of my mouth. Guess I had to wrap my arms around it, to wrap my head, wrap my heart around it, yeah. One kiss and baby, that was it for me. Now I just wanna spend eternity with you loving on me just like this, for whatever forever is.
Nice, man. We're gonna keep it rolling. I'm gonna do another acoustic song for you guys. Try to like get myself warmed up here. It's always kind of hard to do it on the spot and all that, but it's fun and it's like I miss this feeling, you know what I mean, of performing in front of people. So I'm gonna try one that I've never really sang. I've never really sang it like this ever. But I was so lucky this year to be a part of a song called One Beer with Hardy and Lauren Elena. And it went #1, you know, probably a couple weeks ago before the year turned over. And so freaking thankful for that, man. And I'm so grateful for Hardy having me on that song and Lauren just like singing the crap out of it, you know. And it just was it was a really cool bright spot in a very weird year for me and for a lot of us. And so anything positive, you know, that comes out of this year, I gotta hold up for sure and lift up. The story of this, how this song came to be is kind of funny. So I also wrote a song called God's Country for Blake Shelton with Hardy and our friend Jordan Schmidt. And we were at the infamous Red Door Saloon here in Nashville, kind of celebrating it going #1 one night. And I think either he was telling me or my brother was telling me that he was putting together like a project for, you know, like his Hixtape project, you know, his featuring some friends and stuff. And I kind of like got in his ear a little bit and I was like, yo dude, like if you got anything kind of left-handed, like maybe a little darker, a little bit more emotional, a little heavier subject, you know, like send it my way. I'd love to be a part of it if it makes sense, you know. And he was like, yeah, let me see what I got. And I think he sent this song to me the next day and instantly I loved it, obviously. I'm just a huge fan of anything that he writes usually, and jumped at the opportunity to sing on it. And it's the last song on the Hixtape. And for me, I was such like, I never expected it to be a single. You know, like sitting next to all these like stadium redneck backroad smashes, like it just kind of didn't feel like it was as radio or whatever as a hit as all these other things, or I just expected that there was no way. But I think that that's why that song kind of rose to the top in a way, or that his fans or my fans like went back to it, is because it was different, at least when I try to make sense of it. And I'm so glad that you guys did, because it became his first #1 as an artist, my first #1 as an artist. And to have Lauren on that as well was really cool. So it was also weird to do it in a year where we don't play shows, because I feel like we've sung this like 4 or 5 times total when Normally we would, get to collaborate and go sing it a bunch of times. But I usually just sing the chorus and the bridge. I'm going to try to work my way for the verse, do my version of it, but be nice to me, all right? This one's called One Beer. 17 in a small town, weak knees in a CVS, door locked in the bathroom. Yeah, what's it gonna be waiting on that test? Never thought that they'd be putting those life plans on a shelf. A couple American babies raising one up theirself. Yeah, one beer turns into a lit cigarette, burning into a 2-beer buzz. 3 beers turns into 5, then 6, and a love drunk kiss in the back of that truck. Just like that, everything rearranges, life changes out of the blue. It's just a Bud Light, but ain't it funny what one beer can turn into? Ooh, that felt good. Here we go. The Sesame Street on the TV, the race car rolling on a cardboard bridge, crayon stick figure family, you're stuck right there front center on the fridge. Flashback to 2 pink lines, a whole bunch of praying and doubting. Felt like the end of the world now, the world don't spin without them. All 'cause one beer turns into a lit cigarette, burning into a 2-beer buzz. 3 beers turns into 5, then 6, then a love drunk kiss in the back of that truck. Just like that, everything rearranges, life changes out of the blue. It's just a Bud Light, but ain't it funny what one beer can turn into? Yeah. One beer can turn into a boy and a girl and a 3 on a tree. Kissing. First comes lust and a shotgun marriage. 6 months later come a baby in a carriage. That's not all, you know what, y'all. Let it go again, drinking alcohol, yeah. The whole thing started with some alcohol, yeah. One beer turns into a lit cigarette, burning into a 2-beer buzz. 3 beers turns into 5, then 6, and a love drunk kiss in the back of that truck. Just like that, everything rearranges, life changes out of the blue. It's just a Bud Light, but ain't it funny what one beer can turn into a boy and a girl and a 3 on the tree. Kissing. First comes lust and a shotgun marriage. 6 months later come a baby in a carriage. But that's not all, that's not all. Here they go again, drinking alcohol, yeah. Ooh, I felt kind of good. Thank you. Thank you again, Hardy, Lauren, Elena. Love you guys, miss you guys, wish you were here singing it with me. I'd have to do that one more often. I feel like I'm like sunk in now. I was a little nervous on the first one, but we're good now. All right, let's keep it moving. What do we got here? we're gonna do another live video. We're gonna do He Loved Her. This is also they're all very special songs to me, but this one kind of hits a little different. This song's inspired by my grandfather, Mr. Jerry Durrett, who might be watching. I'm not sure. If my dad helped him figure out the live stream, then they're watching. If you are, I love you guys, miss you guys. Excuse me, I've been drinking beer, so. Let's see. There's an interesting story about writing the writing process of this song. Excuse me. I wrote it with Nicole Gallion and Jordan Reynolds, and I think if I remember right, I came into this writing session and I wanted to write a song called Tombstone about like what I would put on my tombstone, and I tend to go like a little on the darker, like more emotional side of things. You guys know me. And I think Nicole and Jordan were like, they were very nice about it, like, okay, that's cool. Like maybe we just don't go so morbid with it. Like, I think Nicole challenged me maybe. She was like, if you had 3 words, what would you put on your tombstone? And the first thing I said was He Loved Her. And I was like, nah, that sounds like a song. Let's do that. And I'm like, okay, I guess. And it was interesting because we wrote a whole entire verse and chorus almost of this song, and we all kind of realized it wasn't good enough, and it wasn't right. And so we went back and scrapped all of that, same day, mind you, and rewrote the whole thing, which is so hard, and that might have been the only time I've ever really done that. It's just hard to like unhear what you already wrote in a way and stay inspired and stay on track. But the first way we wrote it was like, if I remember right, it was like, he loved her, you know. She wanted this house and he built it up, or he bought it, and she wanted him to paint it pink. And as soon as he got done with the last board, she said it was the wrong shade, and he painted it again. And she'd make him breakfast every morning, but she'd burn the eggs, and he'd still eat it because he loved her. You know, and it was kind of that kind of cute thing. But at some point in the song, like, I started like not liking the girl as much because she kind of seemed a little needy, I guess. I don't know. And I always really want to like both characters in the song most of the time. And so I think we all kind of were like, let's just zoom out on it a second, go downstairs, eat some food, figure out what it could be. And I think our first instinct is to write about her, you know, and because that's kind of what we do in country music as well, is we write about the girl. But I think once we got that out of our system, it was like, well, we need to write about him. You know, this is about the way he lived. And I think the only time you really hear about her is at the end of the chorus, because on top of all of these things, he was known for loving her, you know. And we just talked about I just thought about my grandpa and the kind of legacy he's going to leave behind and the kind of man I want to be. And I just, it just kind of started coming together really simply and honestly. And it's probably the simplest song, I've ever recorded. And I think it's important to have those as much as I tend to get a little crazy usually. But I got to do like a lyric video and a whole music video with my grandpa. And, if he's watching, this might sound a little weird, but I'm glad that this song was like an inspired by rather than an in memory of, and I got to share these moments with him because I don't know how many Christmases I'm gonna get with him. He's 90, he's rocking, he's got another 40 years, but it meant a lot to get to share this with him, and so here's the live version. Hope you guys like it.
People like to talk about what they're gonna leave behind, and how they're gonna change the world, what's gonna define their lives. Guess I set my sights on a different kind of legacy. Yeah, I know I got it right with all they say about me. He had a dog, he drank a beer, he drew the same truck 15 years. He built a house up on some dirt, he wore his first name on his shirt. He said a prayer, got up at dawn, showed up to cheer the home team on. He earned his keep, he kept his word, he lived his life and he loved her. Don't you go and spend a dime, one of those high-priced stones. If you want to celebrate my life, let me tell you what really means the most. Circle up on a Friday night with all the ones that know me well. Raise a glass and tip it back and say he lived his life like anyone else. He had a dog, he drank a beer, he drove the same truck 15 years. He built a house up on some dirt, he wore his first name on his shirt. He said a prayer, got up at dawn, showed up to cheer the home team on. He earned his keep, he kept his word, he lived his life and he loved her. Yes, he did. All right, make a dance for me, Sammy. Come on now. He went to work and paid the bills. On Saturdays he mowed the lawn. And just a small town simple man lived his life like a country song. He drank a beer, he drove the same truck 15 years. He built a house up on some dirt, he wore his first name on his shirt. He said a prayer, got up at dawn, showed up to cheer the home team. team on. He earned his keep, he kept his word, he lived his life, and he loved her. He loves her. Ooh, I guess he set his sights on a different kind of legacy. Yes, he did.
All right, man. I guess I just got a text that my whole family is watching, so I love you guys back in Orangeville. Miss you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Next song. Actually, you know what? Let's go to some more questions here. We're going to do another question from the Dark Horse family, one more YouTube question. Let's get into it here. Trevor Miller from the Dark Horse fam. What up, Trev? Says, how difficult or easy was it transitioning from Dark Horse to the Pink Slip in terms of songwriting? That's an incredible question. And honestly, it was pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's so many aspects to this. I started writing songs in the first place because I was not happy and because I was heartbroken or I was going through hard times or whatever, and it was my way of just expressing myself and getting it out of my body and then just feeling accomplished about it. And then that just became something I kind of fell in love with. And, you know, I still obviously am heartbroken by different things. It's not love anymore. It might be the world or troubles at work or whatever. I mean, flat tire, whatever, you know? I mean, there's certain things that can break your heart. It doesn't have to just be love. And I think I've needed to, like, use those moments of, like, you know, anger, I guess. Not anger, it's just those kind of small heartbroken moments of things that do upset me. I think I've needed to, like, channel those into, like, well, how would I feel if it was a love song, you know? And so it's kind of, I've had to, like, completely change my inspiration. I used to write love songs about where I wanted to be, and now I write them about where I am. And you know, I definitely did put my flag on the moon and my dot on the map about being a guy that had no trouble singing a vulnerable, heartfelt song, you know, and I honestly still believe that that's my favorite thing to sing, and I do believe that I win, and the character I love to play most is that kind of introspective, heartfelt, kind of, you know, vulnerable guy. But I think my job as an artist is to just put forth what I live and who I am, and I would be lying if I didn't say I was pretty damn happy right now. You know, the last 3 years have been an incredible journey because of you guys, you know, helping get to, you know, getting my music career to the place that it is now, and meeting my wife and getting married and falling in love and buying a house and getting a couple dogs and all these little things that I wanted to check off the list, you know what I mean? And I'm happy now, you know what I mean? And so I think it's important to write those songs that display that, as much as, don't get used to that because I got a bunch of ballads coming for you guys. But I think it was important to just talk about the fact that in the last couple years of going through life, the things I've written about are pretty positive. So I hope that answered your question. It has been hard to try to transition into staying inspired by being happy. It's kind of weird. I was talking to Bobby Bones about this the other day. Let's see. Next question from Christy R. from YouTube. What up, Christy? Says, if you could tour with any artist, who would it be? Man. I think me and Eric Church would have a hell of a time. I've been to one of his shows, and I'm a huge Eric Church fan, and I love his songs and his performance on the record, and then you see it live, and it's just, he brings this energy that that no one else can capture but Eric Church, you know? And I really try to bring that same energy. You know, I used to be in death metal bands, and I've played in rock bands my whole life, and so when you go see a live show of mine, for those of you who have, you know what I mean. Like, even though I like to sing acoustic sad songs, like, I still like to bring the energy, you know? And so I think it's a mix of having that vulnerability and that energy that I think is what I love about Eric Church too. And I think would be a match made in heaven if we got to tour together. Eric, if you're watching, which I know you are, Eric, just take me out next year. You know, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I'll say yes. Let's see. We're gonna get to the last full band performance from the Pink Slip EP. It's a song called Who's Gonna Hold Ya, and it's kind of about just being there for somebody even when everything else isn't, or when everything else is stripped and gone, and when all the sexiness of the lights and all these things, you know, are gone. Like, who's gonna hold you? It's kind of like a question and answer, which is why I liked how clever it was. Like, in the beginning of the chorus, it's asking, and by the end, it's telling you. And it actually was inspired by, I don't know if I've told you this, honey, you might have heard me say it, but it was kind of inspired by a conversation I had with Leah's dad, Mr. Sykes, and he was kind of just challenging me to, he said, like, what would your purpose be, or who would you be if you weren't writing songs and singing songs and traveling and playing music? Like, who would you put your self-worth in? And I didn't grow up super spiritual, just in the sense of, like, not knowing much about the Bible or not going to church, but I definitely am still very spiritual, and I do believe in bigger things. And Leah did grow up that way, and so it's been nice to kind of get to know that since I've met her and her family, and kind of keep that journey going. But I just thought that was an interesting thing to ask somebody. It's like, obviously this is my dream, and this is so much of my heart is writing music and singing it and traveling it and just doing this. I don't know what else I'd do, But if I didn't have it, would I still find purpose? Like, I don't know, and that's a huge concept, so I kind of just boiled it down into like a love song, It's like when the lights are gone, and say maybe we don't have a house and we could be living on the street, like, who's gonna hold you? Like, it's gonna be me, And so that's what this song is about. Hope you like the groove, hope you enjoy the song. Here we go.
When the last note, last verse, last song fades out, when the last glow and the last shine, last light burns out, when you realize money don't really grow on a tree, when you find out love is really all you need. Well, who's gonna hold you when everything else is letting go? Who's gonna know you better than anyone? Who's gonna show up when you need that someone by your side when the rest of the story's told? Well, I hope there's no doubt in your mind. Who's gonna hold you? Waking up, working hard, doing good ain't enough. If the last drop of your hopes, your dreams dries up. If you ever stuck anywhere without a prayer, and it don't feel like home, if you don't know what tomorrow holds, at least you know who's gonna hold you when everything else is letting go. Who's gonna know you better than anyone? Who's gonna show up? You need that someone by your side when the rest of the story's told. Well, I hope there's no doubt in your mind. Who's gonna hold you? Ooh, you know, I know. This cold world, it can be so fleeting. Don't you worry, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me, yeah. It's gonna be me. Who's gonna hold you? Who's gonna know you better than anyone before? Who's gonna show up? You need that someone by your side when the rest of the story's told. Well, I hope there's no doubt in your mind. Who's gonna hold you? Ooh, who's gonna hold you? You know, I know who's gonna hold you?
Nice. Hope you enjoyed Who's Gonna Hold Ya. I got one more acoustic song for you before I send you guys off. As I mentioned earlier, I was very fortunate enough to write a song for Blake Shelton called God's Country. I wrote it with my boy Hardy and my other boy Jordan Schmidt. And still to this day, like, just one of the craziest rides of watching that song go from blank page to Blake putting his voice on it and watching the ride, that, you know, getting to sing it with Blake and Hardy, and just, it's been a blessing. And it's interesting, when I first wrote that song, like, it was definitely more of something that Hardy was going to record. And I think, you know, he was like, you know, if Blake wants to do it, cool, but if no one else, like, Hardy's going to sing it. But I never really envisioned it as a song that I would record, you know. But since it's become a hit and all that, you know, we put it in our set, and it feels like me. Obviously, it's something that I had a part in writing, and it's really helped me allow myself to just stop thinking so much about what is this, and was this good enough, or is this enough, and just, like, if it's a song I'm singing, it's a Devin Dawson song, you know. So this is my version of God's Country. I hope you like it. Ooh, here we go.
It's not minor, it's major. It's not major, it's minor. You get it. I usually do it in a different key. Hold on. Outside of this one church town, there's a golden road to a whole lot of nothing. Got a deed to the land, but it ain't my ground. This is God's country. We pray for rain and thank Him when it's falling, 'cause it brings the grain and a little bit of money. We put it back in a plate. I guess that's why they call it God's country. Yeah. I saw sunrise sitting back in the 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a been found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. So we turn the dirt and work until the week's done. We take a break and break bread on Sunday, then do it all again. 'Cause we're proud to be from God's country. Yeah, I saw the light in a sunrise sitting back in a 40 on that muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a been found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. All right. Care what my headstone reads, what kind of pine wood box I end up in. When it's my time, leave me 6 feet deep in God's country. Yeah, I saw the light in a sunrise sitting back in a 40 on a muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with them dogs running. Saved by been found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. Hell yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Man, it's been such a blast. I've never really done anything like this, and just such a special day for me to have the whole Pink Slip EP out, and to have you guys embrace it as well and as awesome as you have. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this and wanting to come along and listen and hang with me. Thank you to everybody who asked questions on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you to the Dark Horse family for everything you've done and come along the way with me. If you're not a part of the Dark Horse family yet, just go to my website and sign up. There's a lot of exclusive cool things that we do there. I'm not going to go into it too much now. But thank you guys again. for hanging with me. My name is Devin Dawson. Please continue to enjoy the Pink Slip EP, and I'll see you guys down the road, all right?
Last note, last verse, last song fades out. When the last glow and the last shine, last light burns out. When you realize money don't really grow on a tree. When you find out love is really all you need. Well, who's gonna hold you when everything else is letting go? Who's gonna know you better than anyone? Who's gonna show up? You need that someone by your side when the rest of the story's told. Well, I hope there's no doubt in your mind. Who's gonna hold you? Waking up and working hard, doing good ain't enough. If the last drop of your hopes and your dreams dries up, if you ever stuck anywhere without a prayer, and it don't feel like home, if you don't know what tomorrow holds, at least you know who's gonna hold you when everything else is letting go. Who's gonna know you better than anyone? Who's gonna show up? You need that someone by your side when the rest of the story's told. Well, I hope there's no doubt in your mind. Who's gonna hold you? So fleeting, don't you worry, it's gonna be me, it's gonna be me, yeah, it's gonna be me. Who's gonna hold you? Who's gonna know you better than anyone before? Who's gonna show up? You need that someone by your side when the rest of the story's told. Well, I hope there's no doubt in your mind.